Right now, while you're sleeping, someone else is winning. While you hit snooze, they're 3 hours into their day. While you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, they're building the discipline that will make them unstoppable. The gap between who you are and who you could be isn't talent. It's the hours between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. These are the quiet hours, the sacred hours, the hours that separate the ordinary from the exceptional. In the next hour, you're going to learn why waking up at 4 a.m. isn't about time management. It's about identity transformation. This is the 4 a.m. advantage, and it will change everything. Let's begin. Chapter 1. While you sleep, they win. The brutal truth about competitive reality. Let me tell you something you don't want to hear. Right now, while you're sleeping until 7 or 8 in the morning, someone else is winning. Not tomorrow, not eventually, right now, today, this morning. Someone with your same goals, your same dreams, your same potential. They're getting 3 hours ahead of you, every single day, and you're letting it happen. This isn't motivational talk, this is mathematical reality. Let me show you the numbers. If you wake up at 7 a.m. and they wake up at 4 a.m., that's 3 hours. 3 hours every day, 21 hours per week, 90 hours per month, 1,095 hours per year, 1,095 hours. That's 45 full days. That's a month and a half of waking hours. That's the advantage they're building while you're comfortable. Think about what you could build with an extra 45 days per year. A business, a book, a body, a skill. A future that looks nothing like your present. But you're not getting those days. They are. That's the silent war you're losing. And most people don't even know they're in a war until it's too late. Until they look around 5 years later and wonder why everyone else moved forward while they stayed stuck. The answer is simple. While you slept, they worked. This is the brutal arithmetic of success. Discipline compounds. Every early morning adds up. Every hour of focused work while the world sleeps becomes an advantage that grows exponentially over time. And comfort. Comfort costs more than you realize. Every time you hit snooze, you're not just losing 10 minutes. You're reinforcing the identity of someone who negotiates with discipline, someone who chooses ease over edge, someone who prioritizes feeling good over getting better. You have a choice. You can accept this reality or you can change it, but you can't deny it. Now let's talk about what society tells you is reasonable. 7 a.m. wake up, 8 a.m. if you're honest. That's normal, right? That's healthy. That's balanced. And you know what normal gets you? Normal results. Society has sold you a lie. The lie that you can achieve extraordinary outcomes with ordinary habits. The lie that you can build something exceptional while living like everyone else. Here's the truth. Reasonable schedules are designed for average outcomes. When you wake up at 7 or 8, you're already behind. You're reacting to your day instead of creating it. You're responding to other people's demands instead of advancing your own mission. That's the mediocrity trap. And it's disguised as wisdom. You need 8 hours of sleep. You need balance. You need to be reasonable. Who told you that? People with average results. People who are comfortable. People who aren't where you want to be. Let me show you who's waking up early. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, wakes up at 3:45 a.m. every day, sends emails before most people's alarm clocks go off, built one of the most valuable companies in history. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 4 a.m., training while the world sleeps, built a body, a brand, an empire. Started with discipline. Robin Sharma, author, speaker, 4:30 a.m. for decades, wrote the 5 a.m. Club because he lived it first. Are they more talented than you? Maybe, maybe not. But here's what's definitely true. They're more disciplined. They made an unreasonable commitment to their goals. They decided that extraordinary achievement requires extraordinary habits. That's the key. Normal people want normal hours. Exceptional people do what normal people won't. You want balance? Balance is for people who want to maintain where they are. You want transformation? Transformation requires imbalance, focused, intentional, unreasonable imbalance toward your goals. It's not about being extreme, it's about being honest. If you want results that 95% of people don't have, you need to do things that 95% of people won't do. Waking up at 4 a.m. is one of those things, and here's what you need to understand about your competition. While you sleep, they train. While you rest, they build. While you dream, they execute. Say it. While you sleep, they train. While you rest, they build. While you dream, they execute. This isn't about them being better than you. This is about them being more committed than you. Right now. Today. Your biggest competition isn't taking mornings off. They're not sleeping in on weekends. They're not waiting until they feel like it to do the work. They're using the quiet hours, the sacred hours, the hours between 4 and 7 a.m. when the world hasn't woken up yet. These hours are different. There are no distractions, no emails, no phone calls, no meetings, no demands, just focus. Pure, undiluted focus. And willpower. Willpower is highest in the morning. Your discipline is strongest. Your ability to do hard things is at its peak. They know this, and they're taking advantage of it while you're asleep. That's not luck, that's strategy. That's understanding how success actually works and being willing to do what it takes. You can join them, or you can keep losing ground. That's the choice. But understand what you're choosing. When you hit snooze, you're not just losing an hour. You're choosing to let your competition get further ahead. You're choosing to give them the advantage. You're choosing to stay where you are. While you sleep, they train. While you rest, they build. While you dream, they execute. This is the uncomfortable truth that no one wants to tell you. Your competition isn't playing fair. They're not waiting for you to catch up. They're not taking it easy because you need more sleep. They're relentless, focused, disciplined. And every morning you sleep past 5 a.m., the gap gets wider. 1,095 hours per year. That's what you're giving up. That's the advantage you're handing to everyone who wants what you want. You have a choice. Starting tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., you can join the competition. You can start building your advantage. You can stop losing the silent war, or you can stay comfortable. Keep sleeping. Keep wondering why everyone else is getting ahead. The math doesn't lie. The results don't lie. The reality is brutal, but it's also simple. Wake up earlier, work harder, win more. While you sleep, they train. While you rest, they build. While you dream, they execute. You've seen the brutal arithmetic. You understand the war you're losing. Now it's time to understand something even more fundamental. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't about managing your time better. It's about becoming someone completely different. Chapter 2. 4 a.m. isn't about time, it's about identity. You think this is about productivity. You think this is about squeezing more hours into your day, about time management, about hacking your schedule to get more done. You're wrong. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't a productivity hack, it's a declaration of who you are. Every single morning that your alarm goes off at 4 a.m., you face a choice. Stay in bed where it's warm, where it's comfortable, where it's easy, or get up when everything in you is screaming to stay down. That choice? That's not about time, that's about identity. When you override the comfort of your bed, when you swing your feet to the floor despite every part of you wanting to stay horizontal, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that you're the kind of person who does hard things. Not just talks about doing hard things, not just plans to do hard things, actually does them when it matters, when it's difficult, when no one is watching. That's the key. The 4 a.m. wake up isn't about the hours you gain. It's about the person you become in the moment you choose to get up. Let me show you what this looks like. There's a person, let's call her Sarah. For 35 years, Sarah has told herself and everyone around her, I'm not a morning person, I need my sleep, my body just doesn't work that way. That wasn't a fact, that was an identity she chose, an identity she reinforced every single day by staying in bed. Then Sarah decided to wake up at 4 a.m., not because she suddenly became a morning person, but because she decided to become someone different. The first morning, absolute hell. Everything in her body screamed no. Her old identity fought back hard, but she got up anyway. The second morning, just as hard. Same battle, same resistance. But she got up anyway. Third morning, fourth, fifth. Each time she was casting a vote. Not for being a morning person, for being someone who keeps commitments to herself, someone who doesn't negotiate with comfort, someone who owns her day before it owns her. By day 30, Sarah's identity had shifted. She wasn't trying to wake up at 4 a.m. anymore. She was someone who wakes up at 4 a.m. That's not semantics. That's transformation. The 4 a.m. routine isn't about optimizing hours. It's about forging an identity of discipline. You have a choice. You can keep your current identity, the one that sleeps in, that values comfort, that negotiates with hard things. Or you can forge a new identity through the fire of daily discipline. Now let's talk about the lie you've been believing. You think you need to feel motivated to wake up early. You're waiting for the day when you'll feel like getting up at 4 a.m, when it won't be hard, when you'll be excited about it. That day is never coming. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Feelings come and go. They're here today, gone tomorrow. They're strong on Monday, weak on Friday. You cannot build a life on feelings. Discipline is different. Discipline is a decision that stays. Waking up at 4 a.m. will never feel good in the moment. Read that again. It will never feel good. Not after a week, not after a month, not after a year. And that's exactly the point. You're not training yourself to feel good about hard things. You're training yourself to do hard things despite how you feel. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to do it. Say it. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to do it. This is your new operating system. This is the software update that changes everything. Most people operate on feeling-based decisions. Do I feel like working out? Do I feel like doing the hard task? Do I feel like getting up early? And because they don't feel like it most of the time, they don't do it most of the time, and their lives stay average. You're different now. You're operating on commitment-based decisions. Did I commit to this? Yes. Then I do it, regardless of feelings. When this becomes your operating system, nothing can stop you. Think about every other area of your life. How many times have you not done something because you didn't feel like it? How many workouts skipped? How many important conversations avoided? How many opportunities missed? All because of feelings. But when you master the 4 a.m. wake up, you're mastering the ability to act despite feelings. And that skill transfers everywhere. You don't feel like having the difficult conversation? Doesn't matter. You have it anyway. You don't feel like doing the work? Doesn't matter. You do it anyway. You don't feel like staying disciplined? Doesn't matter. You stay disciplined anyway. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to do it. That's power. Real power. The power to control your actions independent of your emotions. Now here's where it gets really important. You're not trying to become a morning person. Stop thinking about it that way. You're becoming someone who doesn't negotiate with comfort. Someone who honors commitments to themselves. Someone who operates at a different standard than everyone else. Every 4 a.m. wake up is a vote for your new identity. You vote with your actions, not your intentions. Every morning that alarm goes off, you cast a vote. Get up, vote for discipline, hit snooze, vote for comfort. Cast enough votes for discipline, and that becomes your identity. Cast enough votes for comfort, and that stays your identity. It's not about willpower. It's about identity formation through repeated action. Think about it. If you wake up at 4 a.m. once, you're just someone who got up early one time. If you wake up at 4 a.m. for 30 days straight, you're building a pattern. If you wake up at 4 a.m. for 90 days straight, you've transformed your identity. You're not someone trying to wake up early. You're someone who wakes up early. That's who you are now. The morning routine isn't what you do, it's who you are. And once it's who you are, it doesn't require willpower anymore. It's just automatic. It's just how you operate. It's just your standard. You don't need their permission to change your identity. You don't need anyone's approval to become disciplined. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You just need to start. Tomorrow, 4 a.m. Get up. Cast your first vote. It's not about time. It's about identity. It's not about productivity. It's about transformation. It's not about feeling good. It's about becoming someone who does what needs to be done regardless of feelings. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to do it. You've understood that 4 a.m. is about identity, not time. You've learned that discipline beats motivation every time. But none of this matters if you lose the first battle of the day, because everything, your energy, your focus, your entire trajectory, is determined by what happens in the first 60 minutes after you wake up. Chapter 3. The first hour determines everything. Listen carefully. The first 60 minutes after you wake up will determine everything about your day. Everything. Not the afternoon, not the evening. The first hour. Start strong and everything flows. Momentum builds, energy compounds, focus sharpens, start weak, and you're playing catch up until midnight. You're reactive, you're behind, you're drowning. Momentum is built or broken in hour 1. That's the key. Let me show you the science behind this. When you wake up, your brain is in its most focused state. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, discipline, and willpower, is at maximum capacity. You haven't depleted it yet. You haven't made 1,000 micro-decisions. You haven't responded to emails, dealt with problems, or negotiated with distractions. Your willpower tank is full. Your discipline is strongest. Your ability to do hard things is at its peak. This is your advantage. This is your window. And it lasts about 60 to 90 minutes before the world starts making demands on your attention. The first hour is your most valuable asset. More valuable than the afternoon when you're tired. More valuable than the evening when you're depleted. More valuable than any other time in your day. And most people waste it. They wake up and immediately check their phone, scroll social media, read emails, react to other people's urgencies, hit snooze 3 times and then rush through their morning in panic mode. By the time they actually start their day, their willpower is already depleted. Their focus is already fragmented. Their energy is already scattered. They've lost the war before the first battle even started. You're not going to do that. You're going to win the first hour. And when you win the first hour, you win everything. Here's exactly how. The Power Hour Protocol. 3 components. Movement, mind, mission. First, movement. The moment you're up, you move your body. Could be a full workout. Could be a walk. Could be stretching. Doesn't matter what it is as long as you're moving. Why? Because movement wakes up your nervous system. It floods your brain with oxygen. It activates your body. It signals to your entire system that you're awake, you're alive, you're ready. 10 minutes minimum, 30 minutes ideal, no negotiation, no, I'll do it later. The first thing you do after getting out of bed is move. Second, mind. After movement, you train your mind. Meditation, journaling, visualization, reading something valuable. This isn't optional. This is how you set your mental state for the day. This is how you create clarity, focus, and intention. 5 to 15 minutes. Sit with yourself. Get clear on who you are and what matters today. No phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Third, mission. This is the big one. After you've moved your body and trained your mind, you work on your primary goal, not email, not busy work, not reacting to other people's priorities. Your mission, your most important work. The thing that actually moves your life forward. 30 to 60 minutes of focused, deep work on what matters most to you. Before the world wakes up, before anything else touches your attention. That's the protocol. Movement, mind, mission. Let me give you a real example. There's a writer, works a full-time corporate job, has a family, has all the normal excuses for why he can't write his book, but he wanted the book more than he wanted the excuses, so he started waking up at 4:30 a.m. every single day, without exception. 4:30 to 4:45, movement, quick workout, gets his blood flowing. 4:45 to 5, mind, journals, gets clear on his intention for the writing session. 5 to 6, mission, writes, no phone, no email, no distractions, just him and his book, 1 hour per day. Before his regular job even starts. 6 months later, book finished, published, real, while everyone else he knows is still waiting for time to write theirs. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's the Power Hour Protocol in action. You have a choice. You can continue wasting your first hour on social media, snooze buttons and reactive chaos, or you can dominate it with movement, mind and mission. Now here's why this matters so much. Win the morning, win the day, say it. Win the morning, win the day. When you complete the Power Hour Protocol, you've already won by 6 a.m. You've moved your body, you've trained your mind, you've advanced your mission. Everything else that day is bonus. You're operating from a place of already having won, already having done what matters most. Compare that to someone who wakes up at 7, scrolls their phone for 20 minutes, rushes through breakfast and shows up to work already stressed. Who do you think has a better day? Who do you think makes better decisions? Who do you think has more energy, more focus, more discipline? The person who won their morning. Every single time. Win the morning, win the day, win the day, win the week. Win the week, win your life. This is the cascade. This is how transformation actually happens. Not through massive overnight changes, through consistently dominating the first hour of every day. When you win your morning, you build momentum. That momentum carries into your work. Your work produces results. Those results build confidence. That confidence creates more discipline. That discipline makes tomorrow's morning easier. It's a flywheel, and it starts with hour 1. You're not hoping for a good day, you're guaranteeing it. Because you've already controlled what you can control, the first hour. The rest of the world is reactive, responding to whatever comes at them, bouncing from urgency to urgency, controlled by their circumstances. You're proactive. You've already done your most important work before they've even woken up. You've already built momentum while they're still hitting snooze. The rest of the world is behind. You're already winning. That's the power of the first hour. That's why 4 a.m. matters so much. It's not about the extra time. It's about guaranteeing that your first hour is protected, focused, and productive. You don't need their permission to protect your morning. You don't need anyone's approval to prioritize your first hour. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You just need to follow the protocol. Tomorrow, movement, mind, mission. Win the morning, win the day. Win the day, win the week. Win the week, win your life. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. It's not about having more time than everyone else. It's about using your most valuable time better than everyone else. The first hour determines everything. Treat it that way. You've mastered the first hour. You've built the protocol. You've guaranteed your victory before the sun rises. But there's something standing between you and consistent execution. Something that's been sabotaging you your entire life. And it's time to confront it directly. Chapter 4. Comfort is killing your potential. 4 a.m. Your alarm goes off. Your bed is warm, perfectly warm. Your pillow is soft. Your blanket is heavy and comforting. Everything about staying horizontal feels right, and that voice in your head whispers, 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. This moment, this is a test. Not a test of whether you can wake up, a test of who you are. Your bed at 4 a.m. is comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of everything you want to become. Let me be brutally honest with you. The person who stays in bed when the alarm goes off is the same person who stays in their comfort zone everywhere else. At work, in relationships, in health, in life. The discipline to get up when it's hard is the same discipline that builds everything worth having. That's the key. This isn't about sleep. This is about whether you're willing to choose discomfort over comfort when it matters. Think about your life right now. Where are you playing it safe? Where are you choosing comfort over growth? That difficult conversation you're avoiding? Comfort. That project you're procrastinating on? Comfort. That business you're not starting? Comfort. That workout you're skipping? Comfort. It's all the same choice. Stay where it's easy. Stay where it's safe. Stay where it's comfortable. And you know what comfort gets you? Exactly where you are right now. If you're happy with where you are, stop listening. Go back to sleep. Stay comfortable. But if you want more, if you want transformation, if you want growth, if you want to become the person you're capable of being, then you need to understand something fundamental. Comfort is killing your potential. Every single time you choose the warm bed over the cold floor, you're reinforcing a pattern of choosing ease over excellence. A pattern of prioritizing how you feel over who you're becoming. The warm bed versus the cold truth. That's the choice every morning at 4 a.m. The warm bed says, you deserve rest, you've worked hard, 5 more minutes won't hurt. The cold truth says, your potential is on the other side of discomfort. Your dreams require discipline. Your future self is begging you to get up. You have a choice, comfort or growth, ease or excellence, who you are or who you could become. Now let's talk about what's really happening here. Most people are addicted to ease, completely addicted. They want results without discomfort, success without sacrifice, transformation without discipline. They want the body without the workouts, the business without the late nights, the relationship without the difficult conversations, the achievement without the struggle, and then they wonder why nothing changes, why they stay stuck, why everyone else seems to be moving forward while they're standing still. The answer is simple. They're addicted to comfort. Every time you choose the hard thing, getting up at 4 a.m., doing the workout when you don't feel like it, tackling the difficult project instead of the easy one, you're breaking that addiction. You're rewiring your brain. You're teaching yourself that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the path. Let me show you what this looks like over time. 2 people, same age, same goals, same potential, same starting point. Person A chooses comfort, hits snooze, skips workouts when tired, avoids difficult tasks, stays in their comfort zone. Person B chooses discipline, gets up at 4 a.m., works out regardless of feelings. Tackles hard things first, seeks discomfort intentionally. Year 1, Not much difference. Both are still relatively similar. Year 3, you start seeing divergence. Person B is stronger, more focused, more accomplished. Person A is still talking about what they're going to do someday. Year 5, their lives are unrecognizable from each other. Person B has built a business, transformed their body, developed skills, created opportunities. They're operating at a completely different level. Person A is still comfortable, still talking, still dreaming, still exactly where they were 5 years ago, just older. That's not dramatic, that's mathematical. Small choices compound over time. Every morning you choose comfort, you're voting for person A's life. Every morning you choose discipline, you're voting for person B's life. You have a choice. The choice you make tomorrow at 4 a.m. matters, not because one day changes everything, but because one day repeated for 5 years changes everything. It's not about being extreme, it's about being honest. Comfort is keeping you exactly where you are, and if where you are isn't where you want to be, then comfort is your enemy. Now here's the mantra that's going to anchor this chapter in your mind. If it's comfortable, you're not growing. If it's easy, you're not improving. If it's convenient, you're not transforming. Say it. If it's comfortable, you're not growing. If it's easy, you're not improving. If it's convenient, you're not transforming. This is the truth most people don't want to hear. Growth lives in discomfort. Improvement requires resistance. Transformation demands discipline. The 4 a.m. wake-up is uncomfortable by design. That's not a flaw, that's the feature. You're not trying to make 4 a.m. easy. You're not trying to make it comfortable. You're not trying to make it feel good. You're using 4 a.m. to make yourself strong. Every morning that alarm goes off and you get up despite every fibre of your being wanting to stay down, you're building strength, mental strength, emotional strength, discipline strength. That strength transfers everywhere, to your work, to your relationships, to your health, to every area of your life where hard things need to be done. The discomfort is the point. The resistance is the benefit. The difficulty is what builds you. Think about lifting weights. If the weight is comfortable, you're not building muscle. The weight has to be heavy, it has to be uncomfortable. The resistance is what creates growth. Your morning is the same. If it's easy to get up, you're not building discipline. It has to be hard. It has to be uncomfortable. The resistance is what creates the transformation. Discomfort is the currency of growth. You pay with discomfort, and you receive growth in return. You pay with discipline, and you receive transformation in return. You pay with early mornings, and you receive advantage in return. That's the exchange. That's the deal. That's reality. Most people want growth without paying the price. They want transformation on discount. They want excellence on sale. It doesn't work that way. Never has. Never will. If it's comfortable, you're not growing. If it's easy, you're not improving. If it's convenient, you're not transforming. You don't need their permission to choose discomfort. You don't need anyone's approval to embrace the hard path. You don't need perfect conditions to start building discipline. You just need to understand that comfort is the enemy. And every morning at 4 a.m., you get to choose which side you're on. Comfort or growth. Ease or excellence. Who you are or who you're becoming. The choice is yours. Tomorrow at 4 a.m. Make it count. You've confronted comfort. You've seen it for what it is, the enemy of your potential. You've chosen the hard path. Now it's time to understand what happens when you string these hard choices together, day after day, until they create something unstoppable. Chapter 5. The compound effect of daily discipline. Waking up at 4 a.m. tomorrow won't change your life. Let me say that again. One day at 4 a.m., meaningless in the grand scheme, you might feel proud, you might feel accomplished, but your life, still the same. One day doesn't change anything. One day is just one day. But 365 days, that changes everything. Waking up at 4 a.m. for 365 days in a row transforms your entire existence. That's the compound effect. And it's the difference between people who dream and people who do. Small wins, massive results. That's the key. Let me show you the math. Because the math doesn't lie. 1 extra hour per day. That's what you get when you wake up at 4 instead of 5, or 5 instead of 6, or 6 instead of 7. 1 hour, 7 days a week. That's 7 hours per week. 7 hours per week. 4 weeks per month. That's 28 hours per month. 28 hours per month. 12 months per year. That's 365 hours per year. 365 hours. Divide by 40. That's 9 full work weeks. 9 work weeks of focused time that your competition doesn't have. 9 weeks of deep work. 9 weeks of building. 9 weeks of creating. The math is undeniable. The advantage is exponential. But most people look at 1 hour and think it's not enough. What can I really do with 1 hour? Everything. You can do everything with 1 hour per day over time. Let me show you real examples. The entrepreneur who built a 7-figure business by working on it 1 hour per day at 4:30 a.m. for 2 years. Before their regular job, before anyone else was awake. 1 hour every day. No excuses. 2 years later, business thriving, financial freedom, all built in the bonus hours. The writer who completed 3 books by writing for 1 hour every morning at 4 a.m. 3 books. While working full-time, while raising kids, 1 hour every single morning. The athlete who transformed their body completely by training at 5 a.m. every day for 1 year, lost 60 pounds, built muscle, changed their life, 1 hour consistently. These aren't special people, they're disciplined people. They understood the compound effect, they trusted the math, they did the work. You have a choice. You can look at 1 hour and dismiss it as too small, or you can understand that 1 hour per day, compounded over time, builds everything. Now here's where it gets really powerful. Every morning you wake up at 4 a.m., you're not just gaining an hour, you're strengthening your discipline muscle. The discipline snowball, that's what's really happening. Think of discipline like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, the easier everything becomes. When you force yourself out of bed at 4 a.m. despite not wanting to, you're training discipline. That discipline doesn't stay in bed. It follows you everywhere. To your workout. You said you'd train, you train. No negotiation. To your work. You said you'd focus, you focus. No distractions. To your diet. You said you'd eat clean, you eat clean. No exceptions. To your relationships. You said you'd have that difficult conversation. You have it. No avoidance. Discipline in one area bleeds into all areas. Say it. Discipline in one area bleeds into all areas. This is why the 4 a.m. routine is the keystone habit. It's the one habit that makes every other habit easier. When you prove to yourself at 4 a.m. that you can do hard things, you carry that proof into every decision you make that day. You've already won. You've already done the hardest thing. Everything else is easier by comparison. Real-world scenario. 2 people. Same goals. Same potential. Person A wakes up at 4 a.m. Does the hard thing first. Builds discipline. That discipline carries into their work, their health, their relationships. They say no to distractions. They push through difficulty. They stay consistent when it's hard. Person B sleeps in, starts the day reactive. No discipline built. When challenges come, they fold. When distractions arise, they give in. When it gets hard, they quit. Same potential, different discipline, completely different outcomes. The 4 a.m. wake-up isn't just about the time, it's about training the discipline that determines everything else. Discipline in one area bleeds into all areas. Make 4 a.m. your training ground and watch discipline show up everywhere in your life. Now let's project this forward. The 5-year vision. I want you to do some math with me. Real math about your real life. Where will you be in 5 years if you wake up at 4 a.m. every single day? Versus where will you be if you sleep until 7? 5 years. 1,825 days. 3 extra hours per day. That's 5,475 hours over 5 years. 5,475 hours of focused work. That's 228 full days. That's 7.5 months of waking hours. Think about what you could build with 7.5 months of focused time. A business, a body, a book, a skill set, a future. But you're not getting 7.5 months all at once. You're getting 3 hours per day, every single day, compounded, and that's actually better. Because daily practice compounds faster than sporadic effort, because consistency beats intensity, because showing up every day builds more than showing up occasionally. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, between dreaming and doing, between where you are right now and where you want to be. The compound effect isn't dramatic, it's not sexy, it's not exciting in the moment, it's just inevitable. You do the work, you show up, you stay consistent, time passes, results compound, life transforms. It's not about being talented, It's about being disciplined. It's not about having more time than everyone else. It's about using your time better than everyone else. It's not about being special. It's about being consistent. 5 years from now, you'll arrive. The only question is, where? You have a choice. You can wake up at 4 a.m. for the next 5 years and build everything you want. Or you can sleep in and wonder why nothing changed. The math is clear. The advantage is real. The compound effect is inevitable. 3 hours per day, 365 days per year, 5 years, 5,475 hours. That's the difference between the life you have and the life you want. You don't need their permission to start compounding. You don't need anyone's approval to play the long game. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. You just need to start. Tomorrow, 4 a.m., and then the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. Small wins, massive results. That's not a slogan, that's mathematics. You've seen the math, you've understood the compound effect, you've calculated the 5-year advantage, but I know what's happening right now. Your brain is generating excuses, reasons why this won't work for you, why you're different, why your situation is unique, and those excuses, they're keeping you exactly where you are. Chapter 6. Your excuses are keeping you average. Let's talk about your excuses. I'm not a morning person. I need 8 hours of sleep. I'll be too tired. I have kids. My job is demanding. I've heard them all. You've said them all. And every single one of them is keeping you exactly where you are. Average. Let me be brutally clear. Your excuses aren't reasons. They're choices. And they're the difference between the life you have and the life you want. The excuse inventory. Let's go through them one by one. I'm not a morning person. Neither was anyone who wakes up at 4 a.m. now. You think they were born loving early mornings? They decided to become morning people. They chose their goals over their preferences. You're not a morning person because you've never consistently tried to be one. I need 8 hours of sleep, so go to bed at 8 p.m. The math works. The problem isn't that you need 8 hours. The problem is you waste 3 hours every evening scrolling, watching TV, doing nothing that matters. You don't have a sleep problem. You have a priority problem. I'll be too tired. We'll address this one separately, because this excuse deserves its own destruction. I have kids. You know who else has kids? The single mother working 2 jobs who wakes up at 4:30 a.m. to work out before her kids wake up. The father of 3 who writes his book at 5 a.m. before anyone needs him. Your kids aren't the problem. Your commitment is. My job is demanding, so is everyone else's. The CEO managing thousands of employees wakes up at 4. The ER nurse on rotating shifts still trains at dawn when she can. The entrepreneur building their business works all day and still protects their morning. Your job isn't more demanding than theirs. Your discipline is less developed than theirs. That's the key. For every excuse you have, someone with more obstacles than you is waking up at 4 a.m. and winning. People with chronic illnesses, people working night shifts, people with newborns, people with multiple jobs, people with more responsibility, less money, worse circumstances than you. And they're doing it. Not because it's easy, not because they have some advantage you don't, because they decided their goals matter more than their comfort. Your excuses aren't reasons, they're choices. Choices to stay comfortable, choices to stay average, choices to stay exactly where you are. You have a choice. You can keep your excuses and keep your current life, or you can eliminate your excuses and build the life you actually want. Now let's destroy the big one, the tired excuse. I'm too tired to wake up at 4 a.m. Here's what you need to understand. Everyone is tired. The CEO running $1 billion company? Tired. The athlete training for the Olympics? Tired. The entrepreneur building from scratch? Tired. The difference between them and you isn't energy level, it's discipline. They train anyway. They build anyway. They show up anyway. Tired is not an excuse, it's a feeling, and feelings don't run my life. Say it. Tired is not an excuse, it's a feeling, and feelings don't run my life. You're not too tired to wake up early. You're too comfortable. There's a massive difference between fatigue and comfort. Fatigue is when your body actually needs rest. Comfort is when your body just wants to stay in bed because it's warm and nice. Most mornings, you're not fatigued. You're comfortable. And you're mistaking comfort for tiredness because it gives you permission to quit. Here's the truth. You'll be tired whether you wake up at 4 a.m. or 7 a.m. The difference is what you build with those 3 hours. Fatigue is temporary, it passes. Your body adapts. Within 2 weeks of waking up at 4 a.m., your energy levels regulate. You feel better, not worse. But regret is permanent. 5 years from now, you'll wish you had started today. 10 years from now, you'll wish you had those accumulated hours back. Tired is not an excuse, it's a feeling, and feelings don't run my life. You're going to be tired sometimes regardless of your schedule. The question is, will you be tired and accomplished, or tired and average? Real-world example, military personnel. You think they get to say, "I'm too tired" when the mission demands their presence? You think they get to negotiate with discipline? They show up. They perform. They do what needs to be done regardless of how they feel. You're not in the military, but the principle is the same. Your mission, your goals, your dreams, your transformation demands your presence at 4 a.m. Tired or not, it's not about how you feel. It's about who you're becoming. Now here's the thesis of this entire chapter. Average is a choice. Let me say that again. Average isn't an accident. It's not bad luck. It's not circumstances. Average is a series of small decisions to choose comfort over growth. Hitting snooze, choosing average. Sleeping in, choosing average. Making excuses, choosing average. Every morning you make a choice. Exceptional or average. Growth or comfort. The life you want or the life you have. And most people choose average every single day. Then they wonder why nothing changes. Your excuses are how you justify choosing average. They're the story you tell yourself to feel okay about not doing what you know you should do. "I'm not a morning person" is code for "I choose comfort." "I'm too tired" is code for "I choose ease." "I have kids" is code for "I choose to use obstacles as reasons instead of fuel." When you eliminate excuses and commit to 4 a.m., you're choosing exceptional. You're declaring that you're done being average, done settling, done making the same choices that keep you stuck. That's power, real power. The power to stop lying to yourself and start building something real. Here's your challenge, right now, today. Get a piece of paper, write down every excuse you've ever used to not wake up early, every reason, every justification, every story you've told yourself. Write them all down, then burn the list, literally. Light it on fire and watch your excuses turn to ash. You're done making excuses, starting tomorrow at 4 a.m. Not because you feel ready, not because you feel motivated, not because you feel like you can do it, because you decided, because you chose, because you're done choosing average. You don't need their permission to eliminate your excuses. You don't need anyone's approval to demand more from yourself. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You just need to stop lying to yourself. Stop hiding behind excuses. Stop choosing average. Tired is not an excuse. It's a feeling. And feelings don't run my life. Your excuses are just stories. And starting tomorrow, you're done telling them. You've eliminated your excuses. You've chosen exceptional over average. You've committed to the 4 a.m. standard. Now it's time to understand the real power of this decision. Because when you win your morning consistently, you don't just win your day, you win everything. Chapter 7. Win the morning, win the day, win your life. When you conquer 4 a.m., you start your day with a win. Not a small win, a massive win. The hardest win of the day. And that win? It creates momentum. Unstoppable momentum. This is the domino effect of morning victory. One win leads to another, and another, and another, until you've won the entire day before most people have even started. Let me show you how this works. 4 a.m. Alarm goes off. You get up. First win. You don't check your phone. You don't scroll. You don't waste your willpower on distractions. Second win. You move your body. Work out. Walk. Stretch. Whatever it is, you do it. Third win. You train your mind. Meditate. Journal. Read. You get centered. Fourth win. You work on your mission. Your most important goal. Before anything else demands your attention. Fifth win. It's 6 a.m., maybe 6:30, and you've already won 5 times, 5 meaningful victories, while your competition is still asleep. That momentum doesn't stop. It carries into everything. You make better decisions at work because you've already proven to yourself that you can do hard things. You stay focused because you started the day with clarity, not chaos. You say no to distractions because you've already said yes to what matters. By 8 a.m., you've already won. Everyone else is just waking up, just starting their day, just beginning to figure out what they're supposed to do. You're 3 hours ahead. You've completed your workout. You've worked on your primary goal. You've won before the game even started for them. That's the key. Morning victories compound throughout the day. You're not hoping for a good day. You're not wishing for productivity. You're not dependent on motivation or circumstances. You've guaranteed your success by winning the morning. Win the morning, win the day. Say it. Win the morning, win the day. This isn't motivational fluff. This is cause and effect. When you start strong, you finish strong. When you begin with discipline, you continue with discipline. When you prove to yourself at 4 a.m. that you're capable, you carry that proof into every decision that follows. Real-world comparison. Two people, same job, same responsibilities. Person A wakes up at 7, hits snooze twice, checks phone immediately, scrolls for 20 minutes, rushes through morning, skips breakfast or grabs something unhealthy, shows up to work already stressed. Already behind, already reactive, by noon, exhausted, making poor decisions, looking for caffeine, looking for breaks, looking for the day to end. Person B wakes up at 4 a.m., gets up immediately, moves body, trains mind, works on mission, shows up to work already having won, already centered, already proactive. By noon, energized, making great decisions, focused, productive, looking for more challenges. Same person, different morning, completely different day. You have a choice. Which person do you want to be? Now let's talk about something that seems counterintuitive, the energy advantage. Most people think waking up at 4 a.m. will make them tired, will drain their energy, will leave them exhausted. They're wrong. Waking up at 4 a.m. gives you more energy, not less. And here's why. You're living with purpose instead of reacting to chaos. You're in control instead of being controlled. You're proactive instead of reactive. That sense of control, that feeling of accomplishment, that knowledge that you've already won, it energizes you. It doesn't drain you. Think about how you feel when you're behind, when you're scrambling, when you're reacting to other people's urgencies all day. How's your energy? Low, depleted, exhausted. Now think about how you feel when you're ahead, when you're in control, when you've already accomplished your most important work. How's your energy? High, focused, powerful. That's not about sleep hours, that's about purpose and control. Early risers report higher energy levels throughout the day, not despite waking up early. Because they wake up early, they've front-loaded their priorities. They've won before the chaos starts. They're operating from a position of strength, not weakness. It's not about having more time, it's about using your best time for your best work. Your willpower is highest in the morning, your focus is sharpest, your discipline is strongest. When you use that time for what matters most, you create energy, not deplete it. Compare the energy. Person who starts their day scrambling, reactive, behind, versus person who's completed their workout and primary goal before 7 a.m. Who has more energy? Who's more productive? Who's more focused? The early riser, every single time. It's not about genetics, it's about discipline. Win the morning, win the day, win the day, win the week, win the week, win the month, win the month, win the year, win the year, win your life. Say it all. Win the morning, win the day. Win the day, win the week, win the week, win the month, win the month, win the year, win your life. This is the life transformation formula, and it starts with one decision at 4 a.m. That one decision creates a domino effect. The 4 a.m. wake-up leads to a productive morning. The productive morning leads to a focused day. The focused day leads to a successful week. The successful week leads to a transformative month. The transformative month leads to an exceptional year. The exceptional year leads to a completely different life. It's not dramatic, it's sequential, it's cause and effect, it's the compound effect applied to your entire existence. One disciplined decision at 4 a.m. creates a chain reaction that transforms everything. Here's how you prove it to yourself. The 90-day tracking system. Get a calendar. Physical calendar you can see every day. For the next 90 days, you're going to track your morning wins. Every day you wake up at 4 a.m. and complete your power hour protocol. Movement, mind, mission. You mark that day with a big X, green if you want, gold star, whatever makes it visual. Every day you don't, leave it blank. That blank space is your accountability. At the end of 30 days, count your X's. How many morning wins? At the end of 60 days, look at the pattern. Notice what's happening in your life, your energy, your productivity, your results. At the end of 90 days, compare where you started to where you are. I guarantee your life will look different, feel different, be different. That's the formula in action. That's proof that winning the morning wins everything. You don't need their permission to start tracking. You don't need anyone's approval to prove this to yourself. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. You just need tomorrow at 4 a.m. and then the day after and the day after that. Win the morning, win the day, win the day, win the week, win the week, win your life. Not as a saying, as a lived reality. You've mastered the formula. You've understood the cascade. You've seen how morning victories compound into life transformation. But there's one more advantage you need to understand. One more reason why 4 a.m. is sacred. And it has nothing to do with time. It has everything to do with silence. Chapter 8. The Sacred Silence. Why distraction-free hours matter between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. The world is quiet. Completely quiet. No emails flooding your inbox. No phone calls interrupting your focus. No meetings demanding your time. No colleagues asking for favors. No notifications stealing your attention. Nothing. Just silence. This is sacred time. Time that belongs entirely to you and your mission. And this is the real 4 a.m. advantage. It's not just about extra hours. It's about distraction-free hours. That's the key. The quality of focus you get in the early morning is impossible to replicate later in the day. Let me show you why. At 2 p.m., when you try to do deep work, what happens? Your phone buzzes, someone walks into your office, an email marked urgent appears, a meeting gets scheduled, someone needs something from you, your attention is fragmented, your focus is broken, your cognitive energy is scattered across a dozen different demands. You might sit at your desk for 3 hours, but how much real, focused work gets done? Maybe 30 minutes if you're lucky. That's not your fault. That's the reality of operating when the world is awake. But at 4 a.m., the world is asleep. No one needs anything from you. No one is demanding your attention. No one is interrupting your flow. You have complete control over your focus, complete ownership of your attention, complete protection of your cognitive energy. 2 hours of distraction-free work at 4 a.m. is worth more than 6 hours of fragmented work at 2 p.m. The math isn't even close. The world is asleep. My competition is resting. But I'm building. Say it. The world is asleep. My competition is resting. But I'm building. This is your competitive advantage. Not that you have more time, that you have better time. Protected time, sacred time. Now let's talk about what happens in that silence. Deep work in deep silence. There's a writer, best-selling author, completes 1 book per year, every single page written between 4 and 6 a.m. 2 hours, every morning, no exceptions. Why those hours? Because that's when he achieves flow state, complete immersion, total focus, no interruptions. He's tried writing in the afternoon, tried writing in the evening. The quality isn't the same, the focus isn't there, the words don't flow. But at 4 a.m., magic. The world is quiet. His mind is clear. The work pours out. There's an executive, runs a company with thousands of employees. Her strategy sessions, 4:30 to 6 a.m., every day. That's when she makes her most important decisions. That's when she plans. That's when she thinks. Not during the day when everyone needs her. Not in meetings when attention is divided. In the silence. When she can think deeply without distraction. There's an artist. Creates sculptures that sell for hundreds of thousands. All conceived and designed between 4 and 5:30 a.m. Why? Because that's when his creativity flows uninterrupted. When inspiration isn't competing with notification sounds and email pings, that's the pattern. The most important work happens in the sacred silence, not because these people are more talented, because they've protected their focus. The neuroscience backs this up. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for complex thinking, creativity, problem-solving, performs best in the morning. Before decision fatigue sets in, before mental exhaustion accumulates, before cognitive resources get depleted, add that optimal brain state to complete silence and zero distractions. You've created the perfect conditions for deep work, for flow state, for your best thinking. That's why early morning hours are optimal for cognitive performance, not just about being awake, about being awake when everything else is silent, the world is asleep, my competition is resting, but I'm building. This is where transformation happens, in the silence, in the focus, in the uninterrupted hours where real work gets done. You have a choice. You can continue trying to do important work when the world is demanding your attention, or you can claim the sacred silence and do your best work when nothing can interrupt you. Now here's what most people get wrong. They establish the 4 a.m. routine, they experience the power of the sacred silence, and then they let it get compromised. Someone wants a meeting at 7 a.m. They say yes. Someone starts texting them at 5:30. They respond. Work emails start coming at 6. They check them. Slowly, the sacred hours get invaded. The silence gets broken. The advantage gets neutralized. You must protect your sacred hours fiercely. Non-negotiable protection. No meetings before 8 a.m. None. 0. I don't care who's asking. Your morning is protected. No phone notifications. Your phone doesn't exist before 7 a.m. It stays in another room, on airplane mode, completely off your radar. No compromise. No exceptions. No, just this once. The sacred silence is your competitive advantage. Treat it that way. Here's how you defend it. Tactics for protecting your morning hours. First, set boundaries and communicate them. Tell your team, your colleagues, your family. I'm unavailable before 8 a.m. No exceptions. If it's a true emergency, call twice in a row, otherwise it waits. Clear, direct, non-negotiable. Second, build systems that protect your time. Autoresponders on email. Do not disturb mode on all devices. Physical barriers like closed doors or going to a separate space. Make it impossible for distractions to reach you during sacred hours. Third, schedule your day around protecting your morning. If someone asks for an early meeting, offer 8:30. If they push for earlier, you're unavailable. Your morning isn't up for negotiation. This isn't being difficult. This is being serious about your goals. The people who respect your boundaries are the ones worth working with. The people who don't, they don't respect your mission, your discipline, or your future. You don't need their permission to protect your mornings. You don't need anyone's approval to defend your sacred hours. You don't need to explain yourself. I'm unavailable before 8 a.m. That's it. That's the complete sentence. Your mornings are non-negotiable. The sacred silence is your competitive advantage. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because your transformation does. The world is asleep. My competition is resting. But I'm building. Not sometimes. Not when it's convenient. Every single morning, in the sacred silence, with complete focus. Building something that matters. It's not about having more time than everyone else. It's about protecting the best time better than everyone else. It's not about being antisocial. It's about being serious about your mission. It's not about being difficult. It's about being disciplined. The sacred silence between 4 and 6 a.m. is your advantage. 2 hours of distraction-free focus. 2 hours of deep work. 2 hours of building while everyone else sleeps. Guard it. Protect it. Never compromise it. You've claimed the sacred silence. You've protected your distraction-free hours. You've built the foundation of your 4 a.m. advantage. Now it's time to make it permanent. Time to create the unbreakable ritual that ensures you never go back to who you were before. Chapter 9. Build the unbreakable morning ritual. Let's be clear about something important. You're not building a routine, you're building a ritual. There's a massive difference. A routine is a checklist. Things you do, tasks you complete, actions you take. A ritual is sacred. It's a ceremony of self-respect, a declaration of priorities. A daily recommitment to who you're becoming. Your 4 a.m. practice isn't just things you do, it's who you are. That's the key. When you treat your morning as a ritual instead of a routine, everything changes. Routines can be skipped. Rituals are non-negotiable. Let me show you what the ritual looks like. Every single element matters. The alarm placement. Your alarm goes across the room, not on your nightstand, not within arm's reach, across the room, so you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Why? Because the hardest part of waking up at 4 a.m. is the transition from lying down to standing up. Once you're vertical, you're 80% of the way there. Make it impossible to turn off your alarm without standing. The immediate action. The second your feet hit the floor, you take action. You don't sit on the edge of the bed. You don't check your phone. You don't negotiate with yourself. Feet on floor, immediate action. Walk to the bathroom, splash water on your face, turn on lights, move, no hesitation. Hesitation is where discipline dies. Immediate action is where discipline lives. The first 60 minutes, movement, mind, mission. You already know this, but now it's not optional, it's ritual. Movement, 10 to 30 minutes. Your body wakes up. Mind, 5 to 15 minutes. Your mental state gets centered. Mission, 30 to 60 minutes. Your most important work gets done. This is the Power Hour protocol, and it's sacred. The non-negotiables. No phone, no email, no distractions, no snooze button, no excuses, no exceptions. These aren't suggestions. These are laws. Laws you create for yourself. Laws you never break. When you treat these elements as ritual, as sacred, non-negotiable ceremony, they become unbreakable. You have a choice. You can treat your morning like a casual routine that bends to your mood, or you can treat it like a sacred ritual that defines who you are. Now here's how you make it permanent. The 30-day lockdown. Listen carefully. This is the exact protocol that transforms 4 a.m. from a struggle into an identity. 30 consecutive days. No exceptions. No weekends off. No just this once. No negotiations. Every single day for 30 days, you wake up at 4 a.m. and complete your ritual. Movement, mind, mission. No misses. Here's what's going to happen week by week. Day 1 through 7. Hell. This is the worst week. Your body is fighting you. Your mind is resisting. Every morning feels like torture. You're going to want to quit. You're going to have 100 reasons to stop. Don't. This is the test. This is where 90% of people fail. Push through. 7 days. That's all you need to survive. Day 8 through 14. Hard. Still difficult, but not torture. Your body is starting to adapt. Your mind is beginning to accept this as reality. You're not excited about it, but you're doing it. The resistance is less intense. Keep going. 7 more days. Day 15 through 21. Manageable. You're halfway through. Your body has adjusted to the new sleep schedule. Your mind has stopped fighting you every morning. It's not easy, but it's not war anymore. This is where it gets dangerous. This is where people think they've made it and start making exceptions. Don't. Push through to 30. Day 22 through 30, automatic, something shifts. The alarm goes off and you get up without the internal battle. It's just what you do now. Your body expects it. Your mind accepts it. The ritual is becoming identity. By day 30, you're not trying to wake up at 4 a.m. You're someone who wakes up at 4 a.m. That's the difference. That's the transformation. That's why the 30-day lockdown works. Real testimony. Man in his 40s. Overweight. Unfocused. Underperforming in every area. Committed to the 30-day lockdown. First week? Brutal. Almost quit 3 times. Second week? Still hard, but he pushed through. Third week? Started seeing changes. Energy up. Focus sharper. Work improving. Fourth week? Transformed. Lost 15 pounds. Completed a project he'd been avoiding for 2 years. Felt like a different person. 6 months later, completely unrecognizable life. New body, new business, new confidence. All started with 30 days. That's not unique. That's the pattern. 30 days of discipline creates permanent identity shift. You don't need their permission to commit to 30 days. You don't need anyone's approval to transform your life. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You just need tomorrow, day 1, and then 29 more days of refusing to quit. Now let's talk about the identity anchors, the statements that make this permanent. Every single morning as part of your ritual, you're going to repeat these statements, out loud, with conviction, until they become truth. I am a 4 a.m. person. Not I'm trying to become a 4 a.m. person. Not I want to be a 4 a.m. person. I am a 4 a.m. person, present tense, declarative, certain. I am disciplined. Not sometimes disciplined. Not disciplined when I feel like it. I am disciplined. It's who I am. I am unbreakable. Nothing stops me. Nothing shakes me. Nothing breaks me. I am unbreakable. These aren't affirmations. These are identity anchors. You're not hoping they become true. You're declaring they are true and then proving it through action. Say them every morning. I am a 4 a.m. person. I am disciplined. I am unbreakable. Day 1, you might not believe them. Say them anyway. Day 10, you're starting to believe them. Keep saying them. Day 30, you don't need to say them anymore because you've become them, but you say them anyway, because the ritual demands it. That's how the ritual becomes who you are. That's how 4 a.m. stops being something you do and becomes something you are. Once it's your identity, willpower isn't required. You don't need to motivate yourself. You don't need to convince yourself. You just wake up at 4 a.m. because that's what 4 a.m. people do. And you're a 4 a.m. person. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about never struggling. It's about never quitting. It's not about feeling motivated. It's about being disciplined. The ritual is sacred. The 30-day lockdown is mandatory. The identity anchors are non-negotiable. This is how you make 4 a.m. unbreakable. This is how you transform from someone who wants to wake up early to someone who is an early riser. I am a 4 a.m. person. I am disciplined. I am unbreakable. Not as words, as lived truth. You've built the unbreakable ritual. You've committed to the 30-day lockdown. You've anchored your new identity. Now there's only one thing left, the final integration, the complete picture of what your life becomes when you master the 4 a.m. advantage. Chapter 10, The 4 a.m. Identity, Becoming Unstoppable. You started as someone trying to wake up early. Through consistent practice, through daily discipline, through refusing to quit, you've become someone who wakes up early. That's not a small shift. That's complete transformation. From discipline to identity, that's the final integration. The 4 a.m. advantage isn't a technique. It's not a productivity hack. It's not a life hack. It's an identity. And when you've internalized this identity, when it's become who you are, not what you do, nothing can shake it. Bad night of sleep doesn't matter. You wake up at 4 a.m. anyway because that's who you are. Travel across time zones doesn't matter. Your body adjusts but your identity doesn't change. Stressful week doesn't matter. The stress doesn't get to decide when you wake up. You do. That's the key. The discipline has become automatic. You're not using willpower anymore. You're operating from identity. People who are trying to wake up early struggle every morning. People who are early risers just wake up. That's the difference. That's what you've become. Think about other identities you have. You're a professional. You're a parent. You're a creator. You don't wake up every day questioning whether you're going to be those things. You just are. 4 a.m. is the same now. You don't question it. You don't negotiate with it. You just wake up because that's what you do. That's who you are. I am a 4 a.m. person. Not as aspiration, as fact. Now let's review what you've built. The unstoppable compound, physical fitness. You've been doing morning workouts for months, maybe a year, maybe more. Your body has transformed, not from one workout, from hundreds of workouts, all completed before the world wakes up. You're stronger, leaner, more energized, and it's not luck. It's the direct result of consistent 4 a.m. discipline, mental clarity. You've spent countless mornings in meditation, journaling, reading, training your mind in the sacred silence. That mental clarity doesn't just stay in the morning, it follows you all day, every day. You make better decisions, you think more clearly, you solve problems faster, and it's because you've been training your mind every morning at 4 a.m. Professional advancement. The deep work you've done between 4 and 6 a.m. has compounded. The book you wrote, the business you built, the projects you completed, the skills you developed, all of it happened in the bonus hours. All of it happened while your competition was sleeping. All of it happened because you chose discipline over comfort, unshakable discipline. This is the big one. The 4 a.m. practice didn't just give you mornings, it gave you discipline that shows up everywhere. In your diet, in your relationships, in your work ethic, in your consistency, in every area of your life where hard things need to be done. The discipline you built at 4 a.m. transferred to everything else. And now you're operating at a level most people will never reach. Real examples. People who are 5 years into the 4 a.m. practice. The woman who started overweight, unfocused and underperforming. 5 years of 4 a.m. Lost 80 pounds. Built a 6-figure side business. Transformed every relationship in her life. All started with one alarm at 4 a.m. The man who was stuck in a dead-end job with no direction. 5 years of 4 a.m. wrote 2 books, started a podcast, built a personal brand, left the job, now does what he loves. All started with getting up early. The couple who had no time for their marriage. 5 years of 4 a.m. They wake up together, work out together, have coffee together. Their relationship is stronger than it's ever been. All started with prioritizing their mornings. These aren't special people. These are disciplined people. They chose 4 a.m. They committed. They never quit. And 5 years later, their lives are unrecognizable. The transformation isn't dramatic in one day. It's inevitable over time. That's what you're building. That's what you've already started building. And 5 years from now, when you look back, you'll barely recognize the person you were before 4 a.m. You have a choice. You can continue what you've started, or you can go back to who you were. But understand, going back means accepting average, and you're not average anymore. Now let's close with the daily declaration, your permanent operating system, the mantra you repeat every single morning as part of your ritual. Listen to these words, memorize them, own them, speak them out loud every morning. I wake at 4 a.m. not because it's easy, but because I'm building something extraordinary. Not for comfort, not for convenience, for transformation, for excellence, for becoming who I'm capable of being. I don't negotiate with comfort. The warm bed doesn't control me. The snooze button doesn't own me. My feelings don't run my life. I run my life. I don't make excuses. No, I'm too tired. No, I'm not a morning person. No, just this once. Excuses are for people who choose average. I choose exceptional. I don't hit snooze. The alarm goes off. I get up. Immediate action. No hesitation. No negotiation. That's who I am. I am the person who does what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. Not when it's easy. Not when it's convenient. Not when I'm motivated. Always. Without exception. Without excuse. I am disciplined. This is my identity. This is who I've become. Discipline isn't something I do. It's who I am. I am focused. While the world is distracted, I'm focused. While others are scattered, I'm concentrated. While they're reactive, I'm proactive. I am unstoppable. Nothing stops me. Not obstacles, not setbacks, not bad days, nothing. I keep moving forward. Always. The world sleeps. I build. That's the difference. While they rest, I create. While they dream, I execute. While they wait, I advance. That's not luck. That's discipline. That's identity. That's who I am. This is your daily declaration, your morning mantra, your identity anchor. Say it every morning at 4 a.m. Mean it. Live it. Become it. You're not trying to be unstoppable. You are unstoppable. The 4 a.m. identity has made it so. Tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., the alarm goes off. You get up, you move, you train your mind, you work on your mission, you repeat your declaration, you win, and the next day, you do it again, and again, and again. Until 5 years have passed and you look back at who you were and barely recognize them. The gap between who you were and who you've become. The 4 a.m. advantage, the sacred silence, the compound effect, the unbreakable discipline. That's not theory anymore. That's your life. That's your identity. That's who you are. I wake at 4 a.m. not because it's easy, but because I'm building something extraordinary. You're not building anymore. You've become. You are unstoppable. Now go prove it. Tomorrow, 4 a.m., no excuses. So here's what you know now. You know that while you sleep, someone else is winning. You know that 4 a.m. isn't about time. It's about identity. You know that the first hour determines everything, that comfort is killing your potential, and that discipline compounds into transformation. You know your excuses are keeping you average, and that winning the morning means winning your entire life. You know the sacred silence between 4 and 6 a.m. is your competitive advantage, and you know exactly how to build the unbreakable ritual that makes it permanent. The question isn't, can I do this? The question is, am I willing to do this? Because the gap between who you are today and who you could become isn't talent, connections, or luck. It's the 3 hours every morning that you're either using or losing. Tomorrow morning, your alarm goes off at 4 a.m. You have a choice. You can hit snooze and stay exactly who you are. Or you can get up, prove to yourself that you're capable of hard things, and start building the discipline that will make you unstoppable. The 4 a.m. advantage is waiting. Your transformation starts tomorrow at 4 a.m. Don't miss it.